Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning into real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to WCFL DolFans Talk. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. It's Hump Day. Let's go ahead and bring on our co-host, Mr. DolFan Winners.
What's going on, Paul? How are you today, my brother?
I'm above ground and upright. That's all I can ask for these days, but I'm doing good.
Absolutely.
Let's go ahead and bring on our other brother from another mother, Mr. Derek Simmons.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Chilling, brother. How you?
I'm just chilling, taking the evening off. Looking forward to the podcast tonight.
Definitely.
Whole lot of nothing going on. At least nothing.
Definitely from the Dolphins' point of view.
Yeah, a whole lot of nothing for the Dolphins, I was just going to say, is going on. I mean, I think we've lost some good people instead of retaining them. And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm disappointed we didn't try to leave.
I mean, waking up or just sitting there looking, no, go ahead, Derek. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, bud. I was just disappointed we didn't try to we didn't try to bring Kendall Lamb back. I mean, after he, the back surgery, we like injured players, but he actually at least helped us a little bit. What's up, Russell?
Hey, how you guys doing?
I get to watch him. What's up, brother? How are you, man?
I'm just relaxing, chilling. How are you guys?
Taking it day by day.
Sitting there talking about how we wish we could have had Kendall Lamb back, but I get to sit there and watch him in Philly. Another ex-Dolphin in Philadelphia next season, 1-year deal. What's up, Dan Bird? What's going on, folks? How you guys doing? Yeah, I just when I seen that and everybody was like, "Yo, we heard we got another Dolphin on our team." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah."
Dan Bird.
Like it's a normal team.
You know what the sad part is? I figured that Kendall Lamb or Isaiah Wynn would have been signed before Eichenberg. That just tells you how pathetic our front office is when it comes to signings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and we lost Craycraft.
Yeah, but I think they're more concerned with the younger kid, Malik Washington, and the kid that was out the whole year, Taj Washington from USC. So they're similar. They're similar to what Craycraft does. So I mean, I'm not too upset about that. But with our offensive line needing depth, I mean, everybody's we got to steal in Daniels. Yeah, that's if he's healthy. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, but we as of now, our backups are Eichenberg and the human turnstile Borum from Chicago. So, I mean, there's nothing really to get excited about. And I mean, our first 4 picks, 3 of them got to be starters. 3 of them got to hit.
And then we wanted that Vikings guard from last year. We haven't tried, and he's a free agent again this year. We haven't went after him.
Kevin Zeitler?
I can't remember. I know that.
Well, New England signed Bradbury. So what else is new?
Right.
And I mean,
I still believe we still need a
and
safety.
they signed Stephon Diggs. What is the atmosphere feeling like up there, Russell? I know they're excited about that signing.
well, my buddies, of course, you know them also. They're New England fans, so they chirp no matter what.
Yeah, buddy.
Diggs is coming off an injury. He tore his ACL. So, I mean, he's going to be there at some point. I mean, he'll be a good possession receiver because, I mean, he was a terror against us with Buffalo.
Yep.
But, I mean, it depends. Like we always can sit and say, well, this guy went here, this guy went there. But it's all about chemistry. I mean, it doesn't matter where you went and who signed who. You're putting a whole gang of new people into a whole new system. So it's going to take time. But I keep telling people, they got 10 and 11 picks. They spent a lot of money. And defensively, they were good anyway. So, I mean, if they get some semblance of offense, they're going to be a problem.
Diggs is going to want revenge on Buffalo, and I'm calling it now. That'll be a primetime game. Stephon Diggs going back to Buffalo.
Of course.
Yeah,
like, why'd you have to come back to the AFC East? You could have went somewhere else. We didn't have to deal with you. But now we got to play him 2 more times. Diggs is decent. Plus, he's got a quarterback up in New England can actually throw the ball. I mean, they're helping him out. You've been calling it from the beginning, Winners. You said it's going to happen. Could we be the 3rd or 4th one in there in the division? They're coming.
I'm going to say this. And we all watched the game against New England last year when we played them in Miami. A lot of the things that killed New England in that game against us was the penalties against New England. That's what was shooting them in the foot. They were doing like dumb stuff, like false starts and stuff like that. And they might have not had the personnel or whatever, but they could have won that game if they didn't do stupid stuff. They were moving the ball, and the kid's got an arm. Drake does have an arm. Period. Point blank. Now with Vrabel going up there, now with whatever new toys they're going to get, sheesh. I don't. Go ahead, Russell.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off, Sal. I understand your point 100%. And the sad part is they're gonna get somebody that's gonna be impactful because they got the 4th pick outside of them trading back. But if they trade back, they're gonna get more picks. So eventually, it's gonna be a problem. I'm old enough to remember, and I'm sure Paul can also, that I used to love the fact that the Dolphins schedule would always have them having 3 or 4 games early in the season in September, which was a natural advantage for us because at that time we were physical. We'd knock teams off the ball. So by midway through 3rd quarter, these teams are quitting. Boy, those memories are long gone, man. No memories are long gone. You remember that, Paul, being the home field advantage, all that heat in September?
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine coming down there before the dome, or not the dome, the roof got put on.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
and it was funny because when I started going after I was stationed on the East Coast, I was going to those games, and I mean they jumped around names. It was Pro Player, it was Land Shark, all the different names they had, and I brought a couple of buddies in September against the Steelers, and the Steelers were in black. It was Dan Marino was still playing, and it was so hot. And the Marlins were playing there, so they had the dirt infield, and it was hotter than Hades. It must have been a game start. Had to be about like 102 in September, like the 2nd week, 3rd week of September. And my buddy was like, "You wanted to come down here for this?" I'm like, "Listen, I done told you, you can't come out here wearing winter gear from the Massachusetts in September in Florida. You sound crazy." And the night before, the weatherman was like, "Oh, it's going to be a torrential downpour to start a 3rd quarter." Now, I had told him We were in the Sawgrass Mills Mall in Sunrise, and I had said to him, "Yo, you might want to get something for it's gonna pour. You might want to get a baseball cap or something." He was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. And my uncle said, "Hey, I got a nice dolphin rain suit for you," and he gave it to me that afternoon. That's that afternoon. So I had it folded up, brought it under my arm. I had a t-shirt and shorts on for the game. It was so hot in the first half. Started in the third quarter after halftime. You could see the clouds just coming in. Looked like Independence Day. That black cloud and the spaceship came out of it. That sky opened up where the whole dirt infield looked like a quagmire. And the Dolphins and the Steelers, whenever they were on that side of the field, everybody knew which side of the field they weren't going because the whole infield, you couldn't. It was terrible. My buddy looked like a waterlogged pigeon. He was mad. And in fact, I gave the suit to Saul. That thing's awesome.
Yes,
Hey,
it is. It actually works.
I seen that, after and what is actually real quick, what's your guys' thoughts on Greer pushing 3.3 million of Zach Wilson's money to 2026 when he's not even under contract? And then on top of that, we have 21 million. But yeah, what's your guys' thoughts on that? I just thought that was just absurd. What are we doing?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know.
Greer keeps pushing money down the road. Like it's almost like writing checks you're behind can't cash.
Well, he's trying to cover his ass because his ass is on a hot seat right now.
Oh, he's definitely on the hot seat, but you think he really cares? Because if he really cared about being on the hot seat, he would have loaded up the team with an addition outside of Daniels, a healthy guy. I mean, he's doing bargain basement shopping for free agency.
But that's all he's ever done.
Well, and that's true. That's why it makes me laugh when you hear Dolphin fans saying, "Oh, we're going to get this guy." It's not in his nature to pick somebody smart. No. His nature, he'll pick somebody who's off of an injury that's going to have rehab, and it's similar to like McDaniel with the challenge flag. You're counting on somebody else to pull it from him, but it ain't going to happen.
Right. Now, what do you think we're going to need for cap space to sign all the draft picks? What do we need? What, about 10 or 12 million, probably at least?
It's like 10 million. I mean, they got that now if they don't do anything. And who's to say by I don't know, June 1st, somebody out of nowhere gets released and they free up money. Who's to say? I mean,
right.
I'm listening to people say, "Oh, trade Tyreek." You can't trade Tyreek. If you traded Tyreek right now, hypothetically, we traded him tonight, you can't get any picks because how his contract rolls, you have to trade him after June 1st. The draft's already over. So you're going to get stuff for down the road, which is fine. But it ain't happening. Listen, as bad as the Dolphins looked the tail end of the season, obviously they're under the mindset that we're going to run it back. If we're healthy, we're going to be good. That sounds all well and good, but I'm still like, no. The offensive minds
would be eating too much dead cap if we try to trade Tyreek or anything.
Yep. We'd be ruined for like 5 to 6 years if that happened. I mean, not saying that it couldn't happen, but I honestly don't hope it happens, and I don't want to see it happen. I figure this way: he plays well this year, and whatever, then we'll see what happens. I mean, everybody's 0-0. We're all talking Super Bowl, but of course, the realists in us will be like, "Well, we ain't going no damn Super Bowl." But I mean, hope is like spring. It's eternal. We all want our team to do well. But, of course, realism checks in, and it's like, no.
The other thing I can think of is, like, I don't understand why we haven't went for the Vikings guard that we could have went and got last year, but I know he wanted a little bit too much money. And then now he's there, and we still haven't signed him. And then we lose Kendall Lamb for a 1-year cheap deal. We could have brought him back. Unless they really have the board circled for offensive line, the first 2-3 picks. That's the only thing I could think of, and just hopefully stay positive with it. I mean, Justin Simmons is still out there. I think we need a safety too. We got these 2 fill-in guys. I just think we're going to get burned over top. I really do. We need a veteran like that's actually played some time, and I don't know what these guys want. Maybe they'll get lucky and they won't get picked up. Maybe that's what Greer's hoping. Was it Zeiler? I think it started with
he ended up signing. Kevin Zeitler signed with somebody already. He signed the other day with somebody. Yeah, he's gone.
No.
And that's the Dolphins' fault. They drag their feet. Like Saul had said a few shows back, when the free agency opened, Dolphins didn't call anybody. Why? Because they thought that people were going to say, well, it's sunny in Miami. All these opportunities. They didn't have any money. And then the guys they could have possibly got, they dragged their feet on. They could have signed Huafanga from the 49ers. They could have signed Zach Mariota from the Washington Commanders as a backup. They went bargain basement shopping for potential. Potential gets you fired. And obviously, these guys aren't really caring about it. And our fan base isn't stupid enough to believe that Ashton Davis, Artie Burns, and Mulawafanu from Detroit, those guys are all potential. But these guys miss more games than they play. So if you're counting on that, then guess what? Joke's on you.
I'm counting on we're in a soft rebuild and we'll go 5-12 this year.
I hope it ain't that bad. Because then we're starting the process of rebuilding all over, and McDaniels is fired, and
we're already rebuilding.
Well, we've been rebuilding for the last 30 years, unfortunately.
You figure in this free agency period, we signed, 6 guys to 1-year deals? That ought to tell you something right there.
Yep,
now, what happens if 3 of these guys show out like all-star type performers? We ain't going to have the money to re-sign them. They're going to leave. It's like an audition for another team.
Exactly.
And I mean, you can't honestly think that whoever the guys that we sign 1-year deals, and then you got to pay the piper eventually. We still going to have to. Phillips is on his 5th year, so what is going to happen if he has a great year? You lose him too. Then you got what's his name? Kadu, who they had a restricted free agent pact on him. He's coming back. What happens if he has a ball out type year? He leaves too. Now what?
Well, our cap shouldn't be too bad for 26, right?
But you still got Chubb still on the deal. Everybody makes me laugh when they say, "Oh, he took reduced money." No, he didn't take reduced money. All he did was put it into a signing bonus.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna say, "Oh, hey, I'm offering Saul $22 million, but Saul this year we're only gonna pay you 2." No, he's still getting the 21. He's getting 2 as his base salary, but he got 19 as his bonus up front.
Right.
And these people don't understand these things.
They just put it off down the road, which in the long run just hurts us.
It hurts us down the stretch. And I mean, it doesn't help either. This is the first year that we've actually had more than 5 to 6 picks in a draft. Because Wheeler and Dealer Greer be giving away picks for certain. He gave away 5 total picks for Tyreek Hill. 5. How does that turn out? Kansas City turned those 5 picks into what? Trent McDuffie, the center, Creed Humphrey. That's 2 Pro Bowlers right there.
Right.
And they won 2 Super Bowls without Tyreek and went to a 3rd and lost this year. So it's not like they're saying, see, we weren't a one-dimensional team.
They're drafting right, and that's where we've missed on the draft quite a bit with some stuff. And, you need to get in the trenches, and Philadelphia showed that. I mean, I just hope that we get a really good defensive tackle and a really good guard right away. I mean, I think we might be okay. I mean, I believe Daniels is going to be able to do all right. We just got to, we can't do anything. We got all the playmakers we need, but you need in the trenches. We need somebody that's going to keep Tua upright.
Yep, we definitely do need that, but the key thing, like anything, is we can draft whoever. You can name whoever the top tackle, guard, center, whatever position. Till the mentality of that soft unit changes. I'm tired of hearing people say, oh, this guy's great. This guy's this guy's that. But is he a dog? Is he going to put it out on the line when it needs to be put on the line? Is he going to knock you off the ball? Is he going to push the guy in front of him back 2 to 3 yards? or is he going to dance with the guy? And then your quarterback, who has the mentality of I got to be the hero at times, takes off and gets belted, and then he's out. And then we're going with Zach Wilson, who doesn't really fit our system because he's not an RPO type quarterback. Everybody screams and hollers about, oh, he has a strong arm. Well, good's a strong arm if you're on your back.
Right. But no matter what, Tua has to stay healthy. I don't care. You could have the best of the best, and as long as your main quarterback goes down, Tua's got to figure a way to keep him. He's got to keep himself smart. He knows he's there. It's time to put up or shut up. I love the guy to death. I like him. I've been a Tua supporter. There's been quite a few times it's been stressful backing him and everything, but he's got to stay healthy. I mean, we just can't afford to have another year of him being down. And if he gets hurt again this year, I'm telling you right now, I don't think he's there. I know they say he's on there for 3 years, but I don't know. I just don't see how you could.
Well, the key with that being, they got to take the pressure off of him. They got to take that gunslinger mentality out of his hands. Why you can pound the ball and take a lot of the pressure off him. I don't understand why the Dolphins traded up from the 6th round to the top of the 3rd round to get Jalen Wright, and obviously you're not blocking for the guy. And this guy can't be a difference maker if he's only touching the ball 3 times in a game. That makes absolutely no sense. But then you'll have Jeff Wilson, you'll have Chris Brooks, who left, and you don't use that physical mentality. And then we're 3rd and 1. We're passing a bubble screen to Jonnu Smith or a screen to Tyreek Hill or a quick slant to Waddle on 3rd and 1. Really? And you don't think defenses around the league are saying, Miami ain't running the ball. Miami ain't trying to pound the ball because they know their mentality is fast, flash, Olympic gold medalist, 100-meter dash. Every time you watch a game, I don't care if you never watched football ever in your life, and they took the Dolphins on, the first thing they say is, oh, they're super fast. They're extremely fast. What's that got to do with anything? You can't run fast when there's snow on the ground.
It reminds me like the guy jacked in the gym. He's got all arms, but his legs look like noodles. And then you know he's not. He's one of them guys that comes into the gym just to show off. He's got big arms, but his legs are noodles, and he ain't got it. When it's time to get down and dirty, he ain't doing anything.
Yeah, it's all about a mind thing. It's a perception thing. And I'm sure that we all have ran into people growing up or people that you know of that, they talk, and then when it's time to perform, they don't do it. And then there's the quiet guy. He's the one that does everything, and you don't say much. He doesn't do much. He don't talk about nothing, and he just shows up. And the point being is the Dolphins draft it's been atrocious. I mean, yeah, they've got a steal here and there. They might have made a hit on 1 or 2 guys here and there. But if you're going to have a team that's perennially going to be a contender, you got to hit on 3 or 4. You can't hit on 1 guy in your draft. Everybody brings up Chop Robinson. Yeah, well, he had a good year. Point in being, he'll maybe be better now because you'll have Chubb and Phillips hopefully healthy, and you'll be able to attack more, and that'll be fine. But then you count back drafts. You had Channing Tindall, who had a great couple of games at Georgia, and then in the championship game, he's flying all over the place. You ever think of system? That could have been just the system why he played so well.
Right.
And I mean, Cam Smith, another one. He got drafted because Greer's son goes to South Carolina and said, oh, he's a good player. Really? That's how we're drafting now?
I'd like to still like to see what he's going to do in training camp. I mean, I don't want to give up on him yet. Just, I mean, look at Economic, or how you pronounce his name, went to the Redskins. They trashed him. Yeah, they trashed him, and then he ended up being like in the top 3 cornerbacks,
You know what it is, though? Like we said, you can't put a circle in a square. Certain guys don't play in certain systems, and that's the problem with the Dolphins. They don't do their draft the way it should be done. You got to draft guys that fit, obviously, in your system, but you also got to draft guys that have that want to. I mean, right. I've never heard of somebody say, I only can play this, but I can't play that. So what's the point of me drafting you? If I draft you as a tackle, you should be able to play right tackle and left tackle. You shouldn't be solely one or the other. You being a dog, you should say, hey, I'm a starting right tackle. The guy went down on left tackle. You want to move me over there? I'm ready. I've never played that. That just tells me you don't want to play that. That just shows me you don't have that fire.
I mean, I agree and disagree on that a little bit, just because especially tackles. It's tough to, I understand you could probably go there and fill in, but be like stellar at it would probably be tough, just because you're doing the opposite footwork. It seems like, because I was a tackle and stuff. It's definitely a little bit harder, but I understand your point. Kind of, you want to be a dog, you need to go over and help your team.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you a classic example. Gray Zabel from North Dakota State. He's in the draft this year. He's going to be a first rounder. He's played every position on the line, but he's an actual left tackle.
Oh, wow.
So that tells me right there, that's a guy who says, I'm a dog, I'm versatile. I wouldn't mind seeing Miami trade back and get him. If, like I said the other day, if our main guy on the board is not there at 13, I'm not taking my second choice. I'm not taking my third choice. I'll trade back. Maybe I'll get my second or third choice, but I'm going to get extra picks too. And I'm going to tell you, like I told these guys, I preferably would like to see the Dolphins draft Booker, the guard from Bama, maybe not at 13, but if they trade back a few spots and they get extra picks and still get them, I'll be happy. But I don't want to see the Dolphins overvalue somebody just because that guy happened to be on somebody's board. Because like Saul said, like Paul said, and like you've said, we're going to get something good in this pick. But we can't overemphasize by just saying, well, if Stocks, the safety from Georgia, is at 13, we should just grab him. No. If you think you can trade back a few spots, if he's number one on your board, then okay, by all means, take him. But if your number one guy, say, is, I don't know, Campbell from LSU, or your number one guy is whoever, if that guy is not available at your pick, why not trade back a couple spots and get extra picks and then get the position of need that you may say, hypothetically, your first position of need is defensive tackle, and the defensive tackle you want is gone. All right, I'll trade back, and then I'm going to my next need position. Might be offensive guard, might be outside linebacker, could be safety. But you have to draft your need, and the need has to be 3 starters in your first 4 picks. And if the 4th round guy is a decent performer, then you can live with that. But I can't live with you draft 3 first round guys, first, second, and third round, and none of them contribute. Nobody's starting. No, that's going to go off the rails really quick.
It'd be nice in a dream world if we could get the defensive tackle from Michigan, get the guard from Alabama, and then get the safety from Georgia. We would be ready.
You know what I say to that? I would have been president. I could have been president. I should have been president, but I wasn't on the ballot.
Right.
That's a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda.
But yeah, them 3 guys. If you could find 3 caliber players like that, we'll hit one of them. Starks or Booker in the first round. If you could jump back a little bit for Starks, or the guard from Alabama is Booker.
Yep.
You could get a couple picks, and then maybe one of them fall into late second round. I don't know, but like, if he's gone though, but then they're talking about the Banks guy from Texas. So I really think we need guard and then a safety.
Well, the funny thing at the combines, the Dolphins asked the guys that they interviewed who would be like some guys that just like tackles, like Patrick Paul when he got drafted in the second round. He's from Houston. He's strictly a left tackle. We had an argument about this the other day where he can play. No, he can't play God, because if he could play God, he would be a God. So that's fine. I think the Dolphins, hypothetically, in a good world, would draft Booker, but trade back a few spots. Second round, maybe get the safety Xavier Watts from Notre Dame. So now you fill your 2 positions of need with 2 super talented All-American Pro Bowl type guys. Now you're going to get more picks, because obviously if you traded back from 13 and you still got Booker, so you're going to get extra picks. Then you address maybe your offensive guard position. Maybe you get Suavia from Arizona, who's a monster, physical guy. And if you already had got Booker and you didn't get Booker, say you used the first pick to get Stocks, okay? Now you got that second round pick, 48, and whatever added addition you got through the trade for somebody to trade up, you'll be able to fill these spots relatively quick. But like I said, we can't go out and say, hey, like we've heard, oh, I had a guy say we should draft Tyler Warren, a tight end. Don't need him. I heard a guy say we should draft GNT, the running back from Boise State. We don't need him. Those aren't guys that are going to help you block people. Those are guys that are playmakers. I think we have enough playmakers. I just need physicality. We need someone that's going to knock somebody off the ball. And we need somebody.
Something that's going to give our team an identity in the trenches. We need something big.
And the key is depth. We don't have any depth.
Exactly.
Obviously, signing all these guys 1-year deals, we have no depth. And like we said before, Saul has said it, Papa Paul has said it. We've watched all our homegrown talent walk right out the door. Guys we drafted walk right out the door.
Yep.
Christian Wilkins walk right out the door. Robert Hunt walk right out the door.
Mm-hmm.
And what did we get? Comp picks? Comp picks? Really? So people are saying, oh, we got to pick from. Yeah, you got to pick from, but who's drafting these picks?
No, Russell, let me
That's
ask
what
you
people
this.
don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
If, say, for some reason, we get lucky like we did with Tunsil, and that, what happens if Travis Hunter falls and he's there at 13? Do you take Travis Hunter?
Man, I'm running up that card so fast. It looked like Kyle Lewis in the Olympics. He ain't going to 13 though.
I know, but yeah,
No,
no. 13.
That means there's 12 stupid teams in the league. Nah, that ain't happening.
I think he's going to Patriots. I think.
Of course. Why not? I live here. I have to hear about that and have to see the jersey. Why not? Listen, you don't even realize how crazy these Patriot fans are already. I've been out and about, everything's pretty close to where I live. So I run into these people all the time, whether it's at the convenience store, whether it's at the supermarket, restaurants. I see these same people all the time. And I have like a short tolerance for foolishness with Patriot fans, but they're already talking like they're going to the Super Bowl again and the dynasty is happening again and they got their new Brady and they're loading up and it sounds good. And the sad part is you honestly, in a sense, feel like they haven't had many bad seasons. I mean, they had a bad year last year. And once Brady left, they've been mediocre to bad. But that's only been like 2-3 years now. They had like a dominant run for like the longest time. And they didn't have big name guys. Brady would take less. They would sign positions that they needed. And these guys all jumped around everywhere. There was games Edelman playing nickel back. And they had people that are like, what? And these weren't super big names. They got big when they were winning with Brady. And I can't see how people can't see that. Like, we got big names. What did we win? We ain't even won a playoff game. We went 2 of the 3 years that Daniels has been the coach to the playoffs. We didn't win nothing. They won more playoff games in 1 year than we won in the last 25. One playoff season.
Right. Russell and Winters, is there anybody in the free agent that's out there right now that either one of you guys would want if we could get a good steal on right now for a good price?
Go ahead, Saul. What do you think?
I'm thinking right offhand right now, and I'm gonna be honest with you. The people that I wanted have all been signed, basically, and it's sad to say that. Because I really wanted that. I really wanted that guy from San Fran. I wanted the safety from San Fran. That's who I really wanted. That would have been great.
That would have been nice.
That would have been great. Literally.
I wanted Hufanga. I wanted Hufanga bad.
Yeah.
And I figured Hufanga coming off of injury or wrist surgery, he'd want to stay in warm weather. He's played in San Francisco. He's played at USC. He reminds me a lot of Troy Polamalu. He flies everywhere, tackles everything, and he's fast. And I said, that would be a perfect signing. Of the guys that are right now in free agency, they're all like I said, it's bargain basement shopping. I mean, you can't drink champagne with a malt liquor pocket. And Saul had said it a few shows ago that when free agency started, The Dolphins want to try to think that because you have Miami weather, that's good enough. You can't lowball somebody. They know their worth. You gotta
Right.
kind of gotta say something to somebody. If Hufanga signed for 3 years for $28 million or whatever it was, you gotta say, hey, wait. You can't wait last minute to renegotiate all these deals, and then the day before free agency, you're throwing out a deal like, "Hey, I'm going to offer you 2 years at $8 million, $4 million a year." Come on, man! You're talking about a guy that went to the Pro
Right.
Bowl. That sounds crazy to me. And you're counting on because Miami has great weather, no state tax. Well, that ain't everything.
Right.
No, it's
Especially,
not. They
I mean,
want to
he went to
win.
Denver.
Players
This
want
guy
to
went to
win.
Denver. Think about that. He went to Denver. Denver's not great weather. He
That's
went to
another reason
Denver.
why I
He
came
wants
back and
to.
said we're spending that $55 million on Tua. Tua's got to perform. We need Tua. We're paying you that money to stay healthy. We need you to be there. You're getting top dog money. Like, you got to be there. It's killing us because him and Waddle and Hill, if they're not in the game all the time, it's
Hmm.
throwing money out the window. It's like going
But
down the road 70 mile an hour and saying, "Here you go, everybody." And
well,
it's
reason being they can't stand it. Well, on Tua's part, can't stand the game if you invested over half of your payroll on 3 guys, and those 3 guys aren't blocking for the guy that is your main guy.
all right.
Because Robert Hunt would have
Right.
stayed, and we wouldn't be sitting here talking about we need a guard. They should have done that deal.
But they wasn't going to give. They wasn't going to give Robert Hunt 5 years, 100 million with 60 up front. They wasn't going to do that
Well, then you know what they should have done?
because
They
that's
should
what
have
he got from
franchised.
Carolina.
They should have franchised them. They never thought about that either. They should have franchised him that 1 year, and then you build on that. But nope, you want to go give Bradley Chubb outrageous money, and then what happens? He got hurt in a meaningless game that we were getting blown out in, and there all that money went right down the drain.
Yep.
Miami's problem has been we're the champs of free agency in April, we're the Super Bowl champs in September when the season starts. But when November 1st comes around, you got to pay the piper. And all that money that you invested in certain positions of need, you have problems. I would hate to be
Hmm.
sitting here, and I'm sure it's going to happen because, like I said, we're all Dolphin fans. We love our team. Nobody in their right mind wants our team to be terrible. But realistically, you can't be delusional thinking that we're as good as the Ravens in the trenches, or we're as good as the Broncos, who everybody screamed and hollered. We beat them 70 points. You think we're better than Denver right now? Nope.
Nope. And then
Nope.
we've got all these fast players because we couldn't protect Tua. So let's just screen, and try to do these little dump offs and stuff. And now they
Just
figured us out. They figured us out on that. So now it's like, you guys need to they need to do something. McDaniel better come up with something because, he has made Tua better, but,
you notice the San Francisco zone running game that doesn't work.
right.
It didn't work for San Francisco, and they had the guy the head of it, Shanahan. Didn't work for them. So what makes you think it's going to work for a team that can't block? We don't have Trent Williams. We don't have the offensive line that they had. We can't run the ball. We can run the ball in September and October, flash and dash. But like I said, when it comes down to you need that 1 yard, me and Saul go over this all the time. Till you say,
Yep.
I'm going to punch that guy in front of me and knock him off the ball, it ain't going to matter who is running the ball because we don't have that mentality. We're a finesse team. We're a speed team. And our offensive line is a dance with you team. You don't see one guy on that offensive line other than Brewer that's super physical that punches you in the mouth.
What's up, Papa Smurf? How you doing out there?
What's going on, Mr. Kirby? What's up, brother? Yeah, I mean, it ain't like everything that you're saying makes sense. And it's not like you're lying, trust me, because we talk about this on here and off of here. So, the end of the day, and I always take the words of our good brother Johnny O, that Johnny O, if you're listening, I hope you keep winning, brother. But we just gotta wait and see. And that's what it comes down to. And you don't want not we I don't think any of us want our points to be correct. We want this
Oh,
team
hell
to be
no.
successful. But we're not slow. but we're not slow. That's the thing. And I know that these all teams, all fans, some way, shape, or form, are saying the same things that we're saying, for the exception of the Eagles. But I know a lot of them are panicking because of a lot of players that they have released. But I told them, I said, you guys will be right there again. If y'all don't have any significant injuries and or don't have any dumb stuff like drama on the field or locker room drama or anything like that, you guys will be right back there again.
Yeah.
So, everything that we said, everything that we said, death, like I've said Russell before you even came on the show, I was saying that death is a problem with this team. And it's worrisome. It's very worrisome. And you're right. I think if we don't get players out of this draft in the first 4 rounds that can come in, at least 3 players out of the first 4 that can come in right away, start right away, and make somewhat of an impact, we're going to be in trouble.
Yep.
I'm good, Miss. I was up, Herbie. I'm good, brother.
But I do think if Daniels is healthy, with on the left side, put Brewer there, and then put Booker on the right side. If we could get Booker in that, I'm telling you, I think we're gonna have 3 big guys in the trenches. That's really going to do something. I think you're going to see our yards per carry up in the 4 and 5 mark range again, where Achane was back, when he first started before he got hurt.
Yeah, well, the key thing to that is you keep saying that famous 2-letter word. You know what that word is?
If. Well,
if. You know
I
what
try
if
to
is
keep
like?
hope. I
If
try to keep hope.
If is like wishing one hand, shit in the other. See which one fills up first.
Yep, back to Johnny O. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna get Papa Paul to make me a shirt that says "Wait and See," and then put
Yeah.
Johnny O's face on it. That'd be great.
The problem,
and
like I
you know
said, is
what? I got it. I got. Go ahead.
no. Go ahead, Saul. I was listening. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say sidebar. Ethan, our young boy Ethan, he hasn't been on the show lately, but I hope he's listening. I just like to let him know where's North Carolina where we need him. Anyway, we can keep on going with the show.
Hey, I had a buddy. Oh, he was giving me the business about. Russell, I even talked to you. Blah 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 blah. My tie heels, my tie heels, my tie heels. I said the only heels I got is on the end of my shoes, and they're just like your tie heels, worn out. I told him
Worn
you
out.
you should be happy. Cooper Flag is only there for 1 year. You should be celebrating, because if it was like the olden days where guys couldn't jump, you'd be in a lot of trouble. I
You ain't
said
never lied because this kid
Duke
is
is
good, but
loaded.
some of you
I'm
they
not
have.
a Duke fan.
Yeah, they.
I'm not a Duke fan, but Duke loaded, man. When you could come with 7-footers off your bench and just
Mm,
be blocking everything, and then with Cooper
mm,
Flag's like LeBron out there. He distributes, he scores, he just takes
mm,
over the game.
I mean, the
And then
crazy
they got
part, Duke's been loaded for
mm,
the last 30 years.
the young boy Proctor. Man, you got problems, man. You got
mm.
problems.
I was just
Absolutely.
excited to see the Terps made it, and then that last nice shot that Queen made there
Oh,
for
Maryland.
Maryland. That was a nice shot. They came around there and just one-handed up in there.
No, know what I don't like about college basketball? I mean, it's not that I don't like it. It's just like Maryland was an ACC team. They're playing in the Big Ten. I mean, or Big 12,
Right.
whatever it is. That's
Moving
It's
garbage
everything
to
about
me.
around.
money.
Yep. It's all
That's
about the
garbage to
dollars.
me. Because I remember always watching Maryland and North Carolina, Maryland and Duke, and that's ACC for me. I mean, I'm
Right.
old. I can remember back when the college football was the Big Eight with Oklahoma and Nebraska. It seems odd watching them play in the Big 12 with Michigan and Ohio State. That just sounds crazy to me.
Yeah, they just making these crazy traveling schedules and just with trying to get these better matchups so they can get the better ranking.
Oh, it ain't about rankings no more. It's about whose money's gonna be stacked
It's about
higher
that
than the next
money.
guy. They don't care about no damn NCAA rankings. No, man. It's all about the boosters, the NIL, and whose team's going to be on TV with the biggest NIL contract for college football. Notre Dame ain't even in a conference, but they got the biggest TV deal. If they play ACC, they play Big 12, they play back in the day it was a Pac-10. They ain't even in a conference, so they can't win a conference title. They'll always be in an at-large team, but they get the biggest NBC deal in history. Other teams like SEC
Absolutely
Network,
about that money.
yeah, it's about money. I remember, man, I used to be gassed up to watch bowl games, the Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the Sugar Bowl. Now they got the Pop Top Bowl. What the hell is that?
Hey, on a good note, keeping with basketball, they shut old Jimmy Butler down last night.
Yeah, that's a meaningless game, though. Miami sucks. Miami sucks. Golden State's beat up. They play without Curry.
Oh yeah, they're in rebuild mode, but still just to leave.
Are you a Miami Heat fan?
Yeah, I've been a Heat fan since Wade. I mean, I watched a little bit, but I've been there since it was Wade came into in their first championship with him and Shaq and everybody.
Yeah, against Dallas.
Alonzo Mourning.
Mm-hmm.
I remember getting beat against Dallas that first time too. That hit that three at the end of the game. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, but Wade was when Wade was at the top of his game.
Right. I've never been to a Heat game, but I'm going to try to get with like Lewis and all them and Sports Babe and see if they, like said, they're always into that stuff. And I'd like to find and go to a game with one of them one of these times or something or some friends. Like I said, I've always wanted to do it. And
yeah, me and my girl had
went down in a few months, so it'd be easy just to drive down.
Yeah, me and my girl had went to see the Heat against the Warriors when LeBron was there with Bosch. Yeah, we sat behind the basket. We went down there Christmas, and the week we went, we seen the Warriors against the Heat and the Dolphins against the Jaguars. It was a nice weekend. We went Friday night to the basketball game, Sunday to the football game.
Right. Did you see that shot that Stephon Curry made from where the players come out? Ain't that some craziness?
He does that all the time. Every arena.
Dude, his range is
nuts.
all the time on different.
Well, he just threw it one hand. Like he just threw it like from his hip. And I'm like, that's incredible.
It's funny. Yeah. I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, and we see Reggie Miller, but this dude, like, what? You can't even say nothing anymore.
He's different.
It's just like it don't seem right. It's almost like if you walked outside and it's beautiful sunny day, and all of a sudden it got pitch black within seconds. That's how crazy it is to you. It's just not normal, and you get so numb to it. You're like, well, he'll probably shoot from end line to end line and make up three. It's just like it's just not fair.
I'll say this to you, Derek. I'm a Duke fan. I've been a Duke fan since 1990, and I remember when he came to Cameron Indoor Stadium. I remember when he played for Davidson and went against Duke. Even though Duke won the game, he was doing that in college. He was shooting. He would just step right in front of the half court line, just let it go, and it was all net. And I'm like, what? Like, wait a minute, what?
The funny thing. The funny thing too about Curry. When you seen Curry when he first got in the NBA, he looked like he was 11 years old.
Right.
And when he was with the Warriors, he wasn't even the best guy on the Warriors when he got there. It was Monte Ellis.
Right.
And what happened was he had bad feet. He kept injuring his ankle, and they were like, he's not strong enough. He's not this. How time flies, huh? Monte Ellis is probably sitting on his porch cutting wood. And he's like, yo, I wish I was still in the league. And this son of a gun is the best player ever in the history of the Warriors.
Right. He's got a shot he's like the modern era of 3 points like Larry Bird was back in the day.
Yeah, well, I live in Massachusetts. I'm glad Larry Bird was gone. That son of a bitch.
That's why we're glad that you live up in the area where Tom Brady was. We're glad that son of a bitch is gone.
Yeah, but you know what it is? Up here in Massachusetts, Saul will tell you, I don't have to travel but like 30 yards, 50 yards from my house to a Cumberland Farms, and I hear it all the time. New England's this.
Right from the
Boston Red Sox, Patriots. The moment I walk in the door, I got my Dolphins either a hoodie on or a baseball cap. Yo, Russell, what do you think gonna happen? I was there today. I had on all black, hoodie, sweatpants, black Dolphins hat. First words out my mouth. What do you think about our free agency, Russell? What do you think's gonna happen, Russell? What do you think's going on, Russell? And I sit there and say, these cats just don't ever shut up. I'm in the supermarket with my girl. I'm looking at damn
There.
vegetables. I turn the
Yep.
corner.
Yep.
Here's a girl talking. Russell, your team ain't going nowhere. Da. Oh my God,
That's what they. That's
Stacey.
what they say every time I'm down here. The Ravens and Steeler fans. That Dolphin stuff, man. That team's terrible.
But it's different here. I mean, that's like whatever. That's mild. That's
Well,
the
you're in a
same thing.
yeah, you're in a rival area. Like you're in the
Listen,
same
there's
division.
no. I tell people this all the time. I don't care if you live in Miami. I don't care if you live in New York, New Jersey, Philly. There's Dolphin fans worldwide. We know that. But as a NFL fan
Hmm.
base, to be a Dolphin fan in Massachusetts, like I'm telling you, is like being a black guy at a Ku Klux Klan barbecue.
Oh my goodness.
It ain't good.
No,
It
that's
ain't
wild,
good.
dude. That is wild. Yeah, you're an
And
enemy
I
up there.
and I'm saying this as like me. I could defend myself. I've never had no problems. I've never had to use physicality against anybody. Nobody has ever put their hands on me. I never get hit by a snowball, nothing like that. But these people here, they go year round about this football. There ain't no breaks. And they got the Celtics to root on. They got the
Hmm.
Red Sox to root. They got the Bruins. They got all that dumb shit. But they talk Patriot mess year round. And they show up at their games, not like Dolphin fans. Our fan base, Saul will tell you, he went to the Buffalo game. I watched it on TV when they could have won the division. It looked like a home game for Buffalo.
Wow.
That don't happen at Gillette. You get Dolphin fans. What Saul's been, we have a lot of Dolphin fans, but not to take over a whole damn stadium.
Right. That was almost like when we went to the the Commander game there. Was it last year? Last year, I think, or 2 years.
2 years
No,
ago.
2 years ago. Man,
2 years ago.
we took the whole stadium over. It was like 4-1 Dolphins fans. It was insane.
That would never happen here in Massachusetts.
Oh
Never.
no,
There'll be a
not
lot of Dolphin fans, mind you. And, the thing that the big misconception is among Dolphin fans is, oh, if you go to Foxborough, they're hard on us. Da 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 da. Saul's been it's night and day. Believe me. I mean, everybody likes their teams, obviously. I mean, I've gone to different stadiums, and I'm a Dolphin fan. But New England fans, they gonna root for their team. I mean, other than the usual banter, oh, your team stinks, or I don't like your team. Okay, that's cool. Never no physical stuff. Saul in the end zone, lower end zone. We're dancing. People we didn't even know want to take pictures with us. We had Patriot fans photo bombing with us with Dolphin fans. And it was a Sunday night game, and it was crazy. Dolphins won. It was like fun.
Yeah, no, I'm just ready for I'm ready to watch the Sweet 16 here, and then I'm ready for baseball opening days tomorrow.
Who's your baseball team?
Yes,
Orioles.
sir.
Oh, the Orioles. Oh boy.
Let's go Phillies. You already know.
Well, you're
Yeah.
allowed. You're
I
from
know you're
Philly.
ready for your Brave season to start.
Yeah, Braves are at 4:00 tomorrow. Padres, we're out West Coast. I don't get excited about baseball. April to me is still like spring training. I talk
Yeah,
baseball
It is.
like July,
It is.
August.
yeah. The
I
biggest
don't.
thing that hurt us is we lost so many pitchers still,
No,
and at
no.
least we got Batista back.
Yeah, I don't get into baseball till July or August, and usually that's summer camp for the Dolphins. But the Dolphins got me into that type of mode where I'm gonna be rooting for the Braves a little harder till the season starts, and I want to see what we do in preseason. So I ain't kind of gassed up. Usually, like my girl would say, "Oh, my Russell's football year round." Now I'm football when you got to show me. I'm Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately?
Right. I get all excited. I need
I'm
something to
to a
keep me
point right
going.
now.
Yeah. I need something to keep me going
I
right
just
now
hope
until
I just hope no major injuries, man.
right.
Yeah, we're fans. Like I said, nobody. Of course, we want all our points to be proven wrong. We want our team to do well. I mean, I ain't gonna be mad. We go
Mhm.
12-5 or 11-6. I ain't gonna be mad if we do something. But if we get, God forbid, a major injury in the preseason and throws your whole season for a loop, I'll be going right from baseball right into basketball again,
Mm.
and that would suck.
Yeah, I'm ready for the draft to get here. And then that'll get me even more in Dolphin mode. even more than I am.
Like I'm expecting something stupid. I want to be proven wrong. I'm kind of hoping that
if
we
he hits
trade.
everything like he did with Chop Robinson, I think we'll be all right. If we get Booker or Starks, I think that's really going to get. I think we're going to do all right. If we can land one or two of them guys, or even trade back a little bit and still land one of those guys, I think it's going to help.
I got an odd feeling. Like I said, I'm going to see something stupid happen, and I just got a brand new 70-something inch TV, so I don't want to have to throw something through it.
Don't.
Saul will be here Thursday the draft anyway. It will be Saul's first day here in Massachusetts. That Thursday's the draft.
Man, yeah.
So I don't want to be like.
There. Hopefully, I can be able to.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? I can hear Russell.
Yeah, I don't want to be. I don't want to see us
exactly
do something stupid. Like I could see something crazy happening. Like we're at 13, and then somebody great falls to us, and we're all sitting there. Take him, and you'll hear, "Oh, there has been a trade," and then I'll go nuts, and then I'll make sure I can see it happening. Somebody that we all wanted, and not saying just us, but the fan base or a position of need falls to the Dolphins at 13. Because obviously in the top 10, somebody's going to do something stupid from behind us to get into the top 10. So maybe 2 or 3 guys that we really didn't expect might fall to us. And then there'll be our pick, and we got a choice of 2 of our favorite players. And then they'll say, "Oh, there has been a trade, and the Dolphins traded with blah 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 to pick 20." Or knowing us, because we're stupid, we'll go from 13 to 31 with Kansas City, and Kansas City will get the guy we wanted, and now we're picking at 31.
All right. Or we'll have the guys on the board we want, and then we just get some random guy completely we weren't even expecting. Like it's just completely off the wall.
Like I said, I can see something stupid happening rather than saying, okay, well, we're at 13. Say hypothetically trade back 3 spots because there have been rumors that the Cardinals want to trade up to 16, from 16 to 13. I'll take that if you're going to give us like a second or a third or something like that. 3 spots, okay.
And I honestly think too, there's only really 2 big defensive guys that I think you would take. If not, you'd either take Starks if Booker's not there, or the Michigan defensive tackle. But if not, you're gonna have to go offensive line. We're gonna have to go
Mason Graham will be gone, and I ain't taking the other guy in the top 13. Kenneth Grant, nope. Right. Mason Graham at 13, well, possible, but nah, because he'll probably be gone. But I ain't taking Kenneth Grant at 13. I'm trading back. Like I said, if per se our number 1 guy on our board, regardless of position, is on at 13, you have to take him. Outside of you getting some stupendous deal from somebody behind you coming up. And
I hope we don't do something stupid like we trade back and then they
we're gonna trade back. But I just like I said, I don't care if we trade back. If we trade back 3 spots to Arizona to 16 or 6 spots to 19. But if we trade out of the top 20, I'm gonna be very, very upset. And I can see my girl putting oven mitts on me because I won't want to be able to throw nothing.
Well, I mean, we trade back, and then all of a sudden, we caught up to where somebody's going to take the player that we wanted, and then we go and spend more to trade back up to what we already just gained, and then we lose more. It's like we tend to do stupid things like that.
And that's what I say. Everybody's excited about the pick, but you got to remember who's making the picks. Don't matter what pick you got. It's about who's choosing these players.
Let's just hope Weaver has a little bit more pull this year. He's got the ball.
Last time I checked, he's the defensive coordinator. He's not the GM, so he might say something, but then he's going to get overruled like everybody. Right. Like just look at Flores. Flores wanted to draft Jordan Love, and he wanted to draft I forgot the name, the offensive lineman too, because they had 2. I'm trying to think who it was. Both starters, both pretty decent, and he was anti-Tua, but who had the final say? The GM.
Yep.
And he took Tua. I mean, I'm not saying Jordan Love's dramatic either, but I mean, we were gonna get an extra 1st round pick for Green Bay. So I mean, would have worked out, but can't cry over spilt milk.
Now, with off subject there, with Joey Bosa being up there at Buffalo, does he rush both sides of the ball, or is he going to be against Patrick Paul the whole time?
Bosa's pretty good, but Bosa's problem is he's like another one. I was screaming, I hope the Dolphins don't sign him because he's always hurt.
Right.
Why?
Will
Why
he go
add
against
more?
Paul? Will he go against Paul all the time?
Oh,
Or is
he
it
moves around though. He moves around.
okay?
Because you figure too when he was there, him and Khalil Mack would switch at times, and I mean he's decent, but like I said, is why would anybody who has two sets of eyes, you already had Chubb injured, you had Phillips injured, and you're going to go sign another defensive end that's injured?
Yeah.
Why?
And then
It
all
makes
comes
no
up.
sense.
We have
It's
enough
not
guys.
so.
We have
It's
enough
not.
people at the ends. Why do we need more? I mean, don't get me wrong. In the real world, or in like playing Madden would be great, but we're not playing Madden.
It's not so much the injury part of it is it's you're depleting your depth because we're giving up stuff, giving up stuff, giving up stuff, giving up. You have to build with youth because obviously NFL is a physical game. You're not playing 15, 20 years, 22 years like LeBron James in the NFL. It ain't happening. Brady did because the rules were so watered down for a quarterback. They pretty much should just play flag football. You couldn't hit these guys.
Right.
But our team needs depth. Saul has said it. Papa Paul has said it. You have said it. Doesn't matter who we start. 11 guys on offense, 11 guys on defense are bound. Somebody's hurt. Somebody's hurt at some point in the season.
Right. The way we've been going, our injuries has been crazy. So yeah, we need next man mentality up. Next man up.
You gotta build your youth mainly because you have 5 years to decide if you want to keep these guys because they're on rookie contracts. And you have till the 4th year to decide if you want to give them the 5th-year option. You can't give a guy, a Tyreek Hill, a 5th-year option. You can't give a Jalen Waddle a 5th-year option. Those guys came up, well, Waddle did, and they said, we got to give them the money now because we're not going to be able to afford them then. Same thing with Tua. So, I mean, you got to rebuild the youth. You got to rebuild in the trenches first and foremost. You got to make sure, we could be in the position of saying in next week or in a week or two, oh, the Dolphins did a smart move by making Zach Wilson's contract. Maybe they use that money to keep Campbell to come back. Who's to say?
Yeah, they got him. What didn't Chiefs or somebody offer him $7 million?
He's visited a few teams. They're saying it's going to be between the Ravens and the Dolphins or retirement. I mean, there's outside of Philly saying, "Hey, here's $7 million. Come here, and you don't have to stop." He might do it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not in his head.
Yeah,
but
I think Papa Paul said somebody. It was talk, and I'm not sure if you remember Paul saying that or not, but I think he said somebody had. I think it was Kansas City had $7 million on the table for him to come play there.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
Right.
Not at all.
But that's the fault. No, wouldn't surprise me. My thinking is, I think if he's gonna sign with anybody, you heard he wants to win a Super Bowl. He ain't winning it in Miami, so it wouldn't surprise me at all that in a day or 2 or 4 days or 6 days we hear, oh, Calais Campbell signed a 1-year deal, $6 million with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all, brother.
Wouldn't surprise me. Because, I mean, it is what it is. I don't care who you are. All these guys got money. Now it's not like, everybody at the start makes me laugh. Oh, we're in a ring. The ring's only $6,000. Come on, man. You get that in meal money. To get the $6,000 diamond ring and to win a Super Bowl, it's only cost $6,000. If you never get one, big deal. What's $6,000 when you got 600 million or 60 or 50?
Hell, you can go buy one.
That's why I say everybody wants to win a Super Bowl ring. I mean, so you can say, "Hey, I won a Super Bowl ring," but it ain't no different from you getting your cash. It's just a token thing. So your career doesn't end with, "Oh, he never won a Super Bowl. He never won a Super Bowl." Because it makes me laugh when I argue with people about Marino. They'll say, "Oh, Marino never won a Super Bowl." So everybody that wins a Super Bowl is better than Dan Marino. All the quarterbacks you can think of that won a Super Bowl. You think Trent Dilfer is better than Dan Marino? You think Brad Johnson's better than Dan Marino?
Not even close.
You think the quarterback that won the Super Bowl for the Eagles a few years back is better than Dan Marino? No, they were in better situations than Dan Marino. That's all you can say.
Right.
When Dan Marino was in 83 and then right through his whole career, 84, they went to the Super Bowl against San Francisco, the only time. People act like Dan Marino wasn't like trying to win. Dan Marino had to outrageous numbers. But the rest of the team wasn't built outside of him, Duper, Clayton. Their defense was crap. They weren't going to beat San Francisco.
Right.
They weren't going to beat Buffalo. And Buffalo had Jim Kelly, but look who Buffalo had. They had a great defense, and they had a good offense around Jim Kelly. They could run the ball. They had Thurman Thomas. They had Andre Reed. They had James Lofton. They had Kenneth Davis. They had a good line, too. And they had Cornelius Bennett, Nate Odoms. Man, come on, man. Really? You can't name Marino's defense when he was in his prime because they weren't that good. And when the Dolphins defense got good, Jimmy Johnson handcuffed Marino by saying, "We're gonna run the ball," like they were Dallas. They didn't have the team like Dallas. We didn't have Emmitt Smith. We didn't have Michael Irvin. Marino was throwing to, and I'm not taking shots at anybody, but he had different guys. He didn't have those type of guys. And Dallas had a ferocious defense. Jimmy Johnson had an athletic, super fast team where he got 9 picks for Herschel Walker from the Vikings. And 6 of those guys ended up becoming Pro Bowlers, and 4 of them became Hall of Famers. So, I mean, come on.
Now, do you think Jimmy Johnson actually hurt Marino in a few of them years he was with the team?
Marino got handcuffed. He took away his play calling because Marino was always able to change plays. He said, nope, if I say run it, we're running it. If I say throw this is what we're doing. You could see a lot of the games when Marino coming off the field swearing and cussing at Jimmy Johnson because he took away his key thing, is to being able to audible and change out of plays. And Marino still had that great arm, but he didn't have Duper no more. He didn't have Clayton no more. He had decent guys, don't get me wrong. He had Keith Byers, who was near the end of his career, former Eagle. He had Keith Jackson, the tight end, that was great with the Packers. Yep, he had good guys, but I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Eagle also.
Yep, and the sad part is, Marino only had one 1,000-yard rusher in his whole time as a Dolphin. One. Think about that.
Russell? What do you think about it? Do you think Tua's changing the play at the line a little bit, or is he letting McDaniels do it all?
Well, McDaniels calls the plays. I mean, Tua's key thing is, like we've always said, he's super accurate. He's precise. He's like a surgeon. But all the play calls are pretty much the same. The only difference is who he's throwing it to. It's the same slants. It's the same quick hitters. It's the same right, left, where it got so stale where teams knew what we were doing. It's pretty sad when your whole defense calls out the play and then you don't audibilize out of that play. That's just McDaniel's arrogance. He's very arrogant. I mean, I've never met the man. I could be wrong, but it seems like he's just set in his ways, and that's how it's going to be.
Well, we know this year if he don't change it at least, or even just change half of it, he does very bad the first few games, he gets fired. And that's why I'm hoping we're wrong, or I'm hoping I'm wrong that he doesn't get fired because, man, be a long 4 or 5 years.
We're at the point now where, like Papa Paul said, we're a soft rebuild. They ain't gonna come out and say it, but just look at the free agent signings and tell me that you have a lot of confidence in this team. I mean, we're all fans. We all love the team. And I, as well as Saul, as well as you, as well as Papa Paul, Johnny O, you pick any Dolphin fan, anybody. Pull them out of a hat. Any name, any person. Of course, we want our narratives to be wrong. We hope our team's good. We want to be walking around talking mess and I told you. But realistically,
one big thing is, though, we don't need to spend a lot of money. I mean, you could get some top these free agents, but do we really need to find? I understand trying to do the diamond in the rough, but they could still. You could pay all this money for these big top free agents, which we've done. Sue, for one, and they didn't really do a whole lot.
Well, you know what the problem is? Like we've said before, we're the champs of free agency in April, we're the Super Bowl champs in September, and then November 1st, we're like mad as hell.
Right. I'm just kind of glad we did some smaller picks. Even if we had high cap like the Patriots, hopefully that I'd rather stay somewhat under the radar and just try to hopefully this is the year we build homegrown talent from the draft and not.
Well, I'm not so concerned about the talent in the draft. I'm not concerned about free agency. The thing is, we overprice, and when it comes time to pay the piper, we can't pay the piper. So guess what? Buy Robert Hunt, buy Christian Wilkins, And
we always wait
that,
till the last minute to get stuff done.
and those things should have never happened. It started like we said on the last show. You had the leader in the NFL in interceptions. Xavier Howard had 10 interceptions that year. What did the Dolphins go do? They went out in free agency and signed the Brent Jones from the Dallas Cowboys.
And gave him
Why?
all that money.
Why? You went and signed a guy for more money than the guy who led the league in interceptions and who was already on your team.
Yeah,
So now you
sense.
created animosity among your players in your locker room because you're saying, well, we don't value the guy who led the league in interceptions, but we value the guy who only had 2 interceptions.
And ever since that, Howard didn't do nearly as good, and he just kind of was like, you know what, hell with it, and his play went down. He just felt disrespected, and I would have felt the same.
And then think about that. Why did that have to happen? All right, how about like Saul said in the last show, Christian Wilkins never screamed and hollered about his contract, always spoke highly about the Dolphins. I'm going to let my agent handle it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Never complained. What did Dolphins go do? Lowballed him. And then expect him to take a bargain basement deal to stay in Miami. Really?
Right. Yep, we could have got him a year or two earlier.
And the guy was a Pro Bowl type year. He played well. So instead of giving him the contract the year before and nothing major because he didn't ask for no craziness, you got to the point where now you couldn't pay him. So really, I mean, Robert Hunt, same thing. Could have paid him 2 years prior. Or even if you couldn't have paid him, you could have franchised him for 1 year. No, let's not do that. Let's go get a guy outside of our team from Denver. We gave up a second round and I think a first rounder for Bradley Chubb. He had that one good year. Then the next year he tears his ACL in a meaningless game late in the year where we're losing by like 40. And he tears his ACL in Baltimore in the rain, mucked up field. So now, explain that.
Right.
This is what I'm saying about stupidity. You can't go out and say, "Oh, well, we shouldn't do this," but yet you go and do it anyway. Because what we're talking about right now is Saul's going to say it, Paul's going to say it, you're going to say it. Our 2 major needs are what? Offensive line and defensive line. We let an offensive lineman, God, walk out the door. We let a defensive lineman walk out the door. Yep. And our other need is what? Safety. We let our safety walk out the door. Now what? Those are 3 guys you have to hit on.
I mean, I was all right with Holland, but if we would have never had to get Holland if we would have kept Fitzpatrick.
And this is what I'm saying about stupidity. And you let Fitzpatrick go because, quote unquote, he's not for your system. Then why'd you draft him? How'd that work out? Right. 5, 6 straight years in the Pro Bowl for Pittsburgh? And Pittsburgh don't play the same as us. So those are just excuses to keep the fan base on the edge to think we're actually competing. We're not competing. We are not competing. I don't care what you can get any Dolphin fan from any corner of this planet. And if they say that we had a great free agency and they're optimistic, sure, we're all optimistic, but reality sets in. Our team has a lot of holes to fill. We got more holes than Swiss cheese right now. And 10 picks, 4 of them going to hit. The first 4, 3 of them going to be starters. And they're going to contribute. I'm not talking about Pro Bowlers, but they're going to be solid starters. We can't have a Cam Smith. We can't have a Channing Tindall. We can't have that type of guys. No. Ryan Hayes. And I'm not knocking anybody. I never played the NFL. I was a good football player. I got recruited by schools. But I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an NFL guy. But I've been in NFL locker rooms. I've been around NFL coaches. I've been around NFL players. So if anybody who has a set of eyes and they can see clearly is going to tell me that the mess that you seen last year is going to be good enough to compete with, snatch any contender in the AFC you want, and I'll dispute you. So you can't honestly
right.
You can't sit here and say, "Oh, head to head, Miami could beat Baltimore." Hell no. I won't even bring up the teams in our division like the main team. We all know who that is. We ain't beating them. People say, "Oh, it's a rivalry." How's it a rivalry when you're 1-18 against them in the last 19 games? That's not a rivalry to me. That's a straight up beatdown. A rivalry to me is you won 8, they won 8. It's close. When it's 1 in 18, 1 in 18.
Yeah, they've been spanking us for.
That's not a rivalry to me. That's like the heavyweight champion. That's like Muhammad Ali against Chuck Wepner. Ain't no chance. I'm stringing you along under the belief that that's a rivalry. That's not a rivalry.
And I honestly think with Diggs going to New England, I think Buffalo New England's going to be the new big rivalry out of the East, anyhow.
Like I said, New England's going to take a while. I mean, they ain't going to just come out in the field and be like dominant. It's going to take a while. I mean, they're making the right steps. They got money. They went out and got some decent free agents. They got a lot of draft picks, so they're going to rebuild. That's the difference between their owner and our owner. Their owner's won 6 Super Bowl titles. He ain't trying to hear, oh, it's okay, we'll have a couple of bad years. Hell no.
But with Mike up there, he's gonna be like Belichick. Do your job, or you will be replaced.
Vrabel's tough. He's a former player. He's hard nosed. He don't take no mess, and that's the problem with our team. Our team is a country club.
Yeah.
Listen, we've all been to Miami. We ain't millionaires. When you're in Miami, you feel that cool breeze off. Me and Saul were walking around Fort Lauderdale Beach at 2, 3 in the morning. You know how beautiful that is.
Oh.
And we ain't millionaires. We ain't billionaires. So what do you think a person with billions of dollars and millions of dollars is thinking?
Yeah, we're not like
we ain't on marlin fishing. We ain't out all night eating at the best restaurants and getting the best treatment. We're just regular working everyday people. Just think about you being a top type player for the Miami Dolphins, driving around in a Lamborghini on Ocean Drive, hair blowing in the wind, sitting around doing what you want. And then all your priorities go out the window because you don't have to care about your priorities no more. It's not like out here. You ain't driving around in January with your windows down out here.
No.
If you do, you're going to be frostbitten.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the video of Chase and Higgins, and then another buddy. They were like drag racing each other, driving their Ferrari or Lambos down around in Miami. So it's like, damn, like.
And you got to remember, when you're personal and you're in the spotlight all the time, and you're young and you have access to everything, your football acumen changes real fast, especially when you've already won. Like, people will sit there and say, Tyreek Hill this, Tyreek Hill that. Well, Tyreek Hill already won a Super Bowl, so what's the big deal for him? Now it's about putting your brand out, because you can't play football forever.
Right.
So now
what mall is his? Is he at the Sawgrass Mall? Is that where Soul Runner is?
No, I think it's in Miami, Aventura. I think it's over there.
Okay,
but you know what I'm saying?
I got a call tonight.
You have actually been around? I thought you were sleeping.
No, I've been listening to the whole thing.
Well, I want your insight, my brother.
I agree with you on a lot of things. It's going to be what we do in the draft and what says what.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
It's going to be a wait and see, Papa Paul. You know how that is.
Yeah.
We can sit here and talk about all the shiny toys under the Christmas tree, and like all of us, we're all grown ups, but we were young before, and you didn't get what you wanted at Christmas, and you were like, "Well, Santa must not have remembered." It happens.
Yeah, Santa forgot about me a long time ago.
Well, hey, I gave up on Santa when I walked in and saw my dad eating cookies. I was like, "Well, this is some bold miss." This is some bullshit. I'm putting out these chocolate chip cookies. This brother's over there chilling. So Santa went out the window a long time ago.
But I want to thank everybody on Facebook and YouTube, Huddle Sports Network. Appreciate y'all joining with us, watching, listening, talking, chatting with us, all of the things. Everyone have a wonderful night. Get some rest. Be excited for what's coming. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm getting excited. It's baseball season tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Other than that,
hey, man, Papa Paul, Saul, my brother, thanks for having me on your show, man. Appreciate you, brothers. Fins up.
Appreciate
Anytime.
you, Russell.
Yep.
Very
Thanks,
Anytime.
everybody.
Peace, love. Peace.
Peace,
All
love,
right.
fins
Peace,
up.
love, fins up, guys.
peace, love, fins up, everybody.
Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network on Roku and Fire Stick. This is the first place to find all the latest NFL news, trades, and rumors. If you have a Roku or Fire Stick, access your menu and locate the search bar to perform a channel search. Then simply type in Huddle Sports Network. After completing the search, this logo should appear. Then add to your menu and you're good to go. We cover all your football needs from breaking news to trades and rumors. So join us and enjoy the sport we learn to love so much. So be sure to add Huddle Sports Network to your Roku or Fire Stick menu and keep informed of all your football news and needs. You can also find us on Facebook and of course YouTube. Thanks for supporting our journey and our passion for football.